everyone, and welcome to this episode of Discovering Laguna Woods. I'm Cindy Whitney, and today we're going to be talking about all those people that are grabbing their rackets and their paddles and heading for the courts. We're also going to be speaking to a couple of people who are making that happen. We're going to speak to some of the leadership in the pickleball and tennis clubs, and they're going to tell us about the protocols that they've put in place so all of these folks can get back to the games that they enjoy, but playing them safely. So stay with us, and we'll be right back speaking with Joan Brown. Stay right there. Hi, Joan. How are you today?
I'm good today. How are you?
Well, I'm good. It's a beautiful day, and I'm so happy that you could take some time away from playing pickleball to meet with us and answer some questions, because I'm pretty sure people have a lot of questions about the status. So I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the current recommendations by the Pickleball Association, and then if you can speak to what would a new normal look like?
Well, a new normal is a scary thing. I like the old normal. Where we are is, pickleball is a social game. The rules really were devised to equate people, to make everybody play on an even footing. And so the way you play pickleball is not like you play tennis. In tennis, you get a foursome together and you go down and you play on the court. In pickleball, most places, you go down and you form a foursome amongst the people that are there. Of course, you can have your own foursome you'll play too, but most of the time you just go down and make a game from the people there. Well, we can't do that now because we can't go down and linger. And we are social lingering animals, pickleballers, and that's our problem. So with the way we have right now, because we don't want people going down and lingering on the patio to form a game, we're saying you have to have your own foursome of residents, and you have to get a reservation for the time you're going to play. And then you'll come down and play for 45 minutes and get out of there, make room for the next hour's people. So people have to learn to get themselves a foursome. And that doesn't come easy to us. And we're going through a lot of problems in people getting the groups together for them to play with. We just started doing doubles a couple of weeks ago, so we're getting better at it, but it's still a learning curve. We have to come up with a way to do it. We think we've come up with an idea. We've sent it out to the club members, so hopefully it'll get easier.
Now, you mentioned club member. What is your status? What is your leadership role in the club?
I'm president of the club.
President of the club, okay.
I've been president.
So it all falls on you.
Yeah, I've been president since the club formed, which was in January 2012. Nobody else wants it, and so my board and me, we get elected every year just because we're willing to do it. So,
no, that means you're good at it.
And we've got about 350 members now. We're about the same size as tennis, so it's a good sized club.
Well, I have to tell you, I went down to the pickleball courts last week because I wanted to take some video and some still images, to sort of support this discussion that we're having now. And I was so impressed that, first of all, there were no lingerers. It was just one court had 4 people on it, and the other court had 4 people on it, and that was it. And I think they probably knew each other. They were probably husband and wife. And so that everybody was just sort of very organized and very safe. The other thing that you've taken off are called touch points. There's really nothing for people to touch. They're not touching anything. And so that, there's lots of different things that have been put in place to make people safe. And I just felt that it just felt like a great environment.
Yeah, it's usually a happy group of people.
Yes.
Once in a while we get a grumpy one, but mostly they're sociable, happy people that want to just go out and have a good time. So that's a good thing. One of the things that pickleball has is that you can't, in tennis, you can take the net. You can just get close to the net and guard it, and the 2 people can stop anything from going past them. In pickleball, you have to stay 7 feet back from the net, unless the ball bounces in that 7 feet space. It's called the kitchen. So that you can't even get close to the people on the other side by the rules of the game. So so the game itself lends itself to distancing.
Yes. Yeah, I did look on your website, and you have everything explained in multiple pages from the, the association, the Pickleball Association, that tells you exactly why they're making these recommendations and so forth, so that you will understand, and you won't, say, well, I don't know if that's necessary. It is necessary, and they've been very, very, I thought they were very thorough in explaining that. So I think it's, you can go there with every confidence that you can play and be safe, because everybody, wants to be out in the fresh air right now. And, and this is one of the best ways, the safest ways that you can be doing that. So maybe you can get some sort of a website up where people can sign up for that 45-minute increment, schedule.
Actually, the village is working on an online reservation system. And those systems are out there all over the place. And so it's just a matter of them, as I understand it, they purchased a system. Now they have to get it on our village system and make it interface in some way, which they're hoping for next week. Nothing ever happens as quickly as we hope. So I think we're getting to an easier system for calling in. Right now, we only have 1 hour a day to call in for the next day. So it's cumbersome. We're all spending some time on the phone that we'd rather be doing something else. So I think we're getting to a simpler system for the new normal.
Well, that's great. Adapt and improve. That's these things come about for a reason. I was going to ask you, are there like leagues, or are there competitive structures in pickleball? It's kind of like what tennis will have, like a a tournament or something like that. Does pickleball have that?
Oh yeah. In fact, one thing, that there's a national tournament that's played out in Indian Wells in November of the year. We've had that for 2 years now. This was to be the 3rd year. And big tournament for pickleball played at the tennis stadium in Indian Wells, and that's been canceled. So that will not take place this year unless something changes in the next 3 months. So that'll be out. And then there's local tournaments. In fact, Newport Beach is hosting a tournament this weekend for pickleball.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
Now, suppose, I took a lesson, it was a couple of years ago, and I've been very bad in coming back and actually learning to play, but it was fun. To me, learning the rules of the game, the kitchen, and, the different, how you, serve and so forth, it's very unique. And so can somebody learn that now, or is that's going to put by the wayside for now because you're too close to the teacher?
Actually, we are not giving, the club has given free lessons for years.
Yes.
And we usually have them at least twice a week that we're doing it. And we are not doing it right now. Alan Galera, who is a VMS employee, does teach pickleball, and he can teach a private lesson. No group lessons, only private lessons are allowed. We are not doing any tournaments. The club's not running any tournaments now. We're not having any social gatherings. We're sort of keeping to ourselves, and it's just not the fun it usually is.
No, but it's safe, and you're able to do it. And I guess that's
right.
the upside to it, is that, it could be worse. You could still be in your house.
We could be forced to only play singles, and singles is just not the game.
Yeah, right. Now, what is your level of play, Joan? I have to ask you about your game. What do you...
On a good day or a bad day?
A good day.
somewhere between 3.5 and a 4, sort of a high intermediate, low advanced. But I'm getting older and slower, so I don't know. But
well, when you say older and slower, I think that's one of the good things about pickleball. If you've been a real hard driving tennis person
right.
all your life, and you play a real aggressive game, all of a sudden it's like, I'm not interested in doing that so much anymore. But pickleball is this wonderful transitional, adaptive sort of thing that you can play and have a lot of fun, get a lot of exercise. You're still moving around. You're not slamming that ball, but so what,
Well, actually, you are slamming the ball, but
the
other side of the game. The other side of the game is dinking, which gets the tennis players a little frustrated, because there's the hard game and the soft game all in one. So.
Oh, well, I've been watching the wrong people. I've been watching people that were way too nice to each other. Well, good to know. I'll pass that on. But, you know, it's too bad because I know we only had about a year of play on the brand new court, you know, when COVID happened and everybody had to stop playing. So it's nice to be out. It's a beautiful court. And so I'm glad everybody is getting a chance to be back out there now. And is paddle tennis, is that in sort of in your bailiwick at all, or is that more in tennis?
Paddle tennis was in the village ever since the new tennis facility was built back in whenever that was, 2000, 2001. And so paddle took over the tennis courts, and then pickleball can play on just about the same court as a paddle court. And paddle is not as popular nationwide. So pickle, I think, pretty much took over a lot of the popularity where paddle was going. We still have paddle here. A lot of the players play both paddle and pickleball, but pickleball is more fun.
Oh, okay.
My opinion.
You're the president. That's why you're the president. I have, the time went by so quickly. I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on. I know a lot of people have questions about what are the activities that we can be engaged in right now, and pickleball being one of them. And thank you for letting us know what is the structure of that play and what are some of the protocols and rules and so forth, so that people can know that. And I hope that things are back to normal too, the old normal, as you said.
Right.
And we can all be out there doing what we love to do.
Thanks, Cindy.
Well, okay, thanks so much, Joan. And I'll be out there because I'm going to take some more pictures.
Good.
So hopefully I'll get you in a few of them, okay?
Yeah, we'll get you in a game.
Okay, it's a deal. See you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. And now we're speaking with Suzanne Frank, and we're in Suzanne's lovely home. Now, Suzanne, before I start asking you some questions, I just want to let you know that I've been going over to the courts a little bit and observing people that are playing the different games. And I just want to say that these people look like a bunch of third graders that have been cooped up in a classroom for months on end, and somebody just let them out for recess. I mean, they're so happy to be out there. Was that your goal?
They are so happy. Once doubles opened up, it was like you said, oh, they were just ecstatic. And it's interesting because the courts are busy at 7 in the morning, and then the next is 8:45. All 10 courts are being used. These people were dying to get out. Yes. And a lot of them do live alone. So this is their only time really for socializing. So, oh, we were so relieved. I kept getting emails because it was open for singles, but only a handful of people play singles. And I kept getting emails. When are we opening for doubles? When are we opening?
Well, and you said 7 o'clock. I mean, that's great because we are experiencing a heat wave right now. I don't know how long that will last, but that's really great because some people couldn't manage a 10 or 11 o'clock time because it's getting so warm. So I saw a lot of people out there, as you say, you know, really enthusiastic in the cool of the morning. So that's great.
Oh, there's a lot of them that they're up and out there at 7. I'm not one of them. I'm not an early bird, but I played today 8:45, and it was getting pretty hot. So yeah.
Yes.
And then we do have 5 courts that are lit at night, and during the summer, those are always busy. It's great to see people out there using our courts, really.
It really is. And, you know, I was really impressed to see that there are basically 3 court activities that can take place. You've got pickleball on that court, and then the paddle tennis, which I didn't know a great deal about. And I thought, well, that looks like a lot of fun. And a lot of people were playing that. And then, of course, traditional tennis. So you're giving people a lot of opportunities.
And you know what's nice, paddle tennis, when I first moved here 3 years ago, I didn't know anybody who played paddle tennis. I think there were 20 people. Now we have 90 members, and it's an easy transition from tennis to paddle. It's a 1/4 of the size of the tennis court. So if you love to tennis and you still want to play a sport but can't run, it's the ideal sport for you.
Yeah, I was watching them, and I guess you get to bounce the ball and keep the ball in play as it bounces off of the screen or the cage around there. So it's got a lot of features to keep you from maybe not running as much as you might in tennis.
You don't really have to run a lot. You have to have pretty good hand-eye coordination, but it's interesting because they use a punctured tennis ball, so it doesn't bounce as high.
Right.
Yeah, and the paddle's rather thick, so you have to really smack it.
Yes, yes. Oh, I noticed there were some guys out there and they were still competitive.
Oh, yeah. Those are the ones we stay away from. They want to win, you know.
Oh, that's okay too. That's all right. You know, I noticed that in your in the Globe newspaper, you had someone that Rick Haskell, I guess his name is, and he had put in an article that was a study that was done in Denmark talking about, you know, extended longevity of people who play tennis.
That's right.
And I thought that was really interesting for you to publish that because it makes a lot of sense.
And I think it also has something to do with tennis players don't get dementia as much as non-tennis players, you know, because you're constantly thinking, strategizing, you're keeping your brain muscle going, your legs, your arms. So yeah, he's been playing a very long time, and he has a gold ball, which is the ultimate in tennis. If you can get a gold ball, you're a fabulous player, and I know he has at least one.
Now, what do you have to do to accomplish that?
You have to enter a tier 1 tournament and win it. So he did the national, I believe it was 80s in Virginia Beach on clay with Ned Buckman. So he was so ecstatic. So, but I think he played in college too. So he's been playing a long time.
Oh my goodness, maybe they should put a grandstand next to the courts when he's playing and people could get some pointers just by watching him.
Yeah, oh yeah. So he writes a column for our tennis column. I think it's once every 6 weeks. He's always got great insights. You know, he and Ned, he also does that too. So very thankful to have them, and so happy the courts are open. I just can't tell you. Oh.
Oh, I noticed that it was certainly on the faces of everybody, and it's very organized too. I think that the recreation department is there in the mornings that where Kevin is from.
And well, now we have a girl who's been there for about 2 years, Lori, so she might have been on vacation when you were there, but she's making sure that everybody is staying 6 feet apart. We're not supposed to get there until right before our matches, and then 15 minutes before the next group, she's out there saying, okay, you got to wrap it up, you have to leave. So she's been a lifesaver. It's just wonderful. And she's taking our reservations too, because it's a 1-day call-in. So she's there from 7 to noon. Yeah. Now, during non-co-ed, she runs some leagues, and we have lots of organized tennis socials. We have a lot of fun. And we have about 300 members. Maybe 30 don't play tennis, but they love to come to our tennis parties. So that's why they remain a tennis member.
Well, that's just fantastic. I think when you were talking about dementia and other things that can affect people, I think the socialization is as important as the physical activity, you know, because you're getting out, something you look forward to, you prepare for, you warm up and that sort of thing, and you're getting better at it the more you play. So that's kind of a good thing too, but just be around people.
Well, I think most of our members, they're out there for the social aspect. You know, they're not, we have a little competitions at the end of the month, and the people that don't want to be in those, you know, they don't play because we can only take so many players. But I'd say just every day, it's just for fun, you know, because we all did leagues years ago. I was in all these leagues in Orange County, and I did all of that, and I just want to have fun now. So it's that's what it is, social.
Yes, yes. Well, are you able to, I understand that you can have people show up and play, because I noticed that there are no touch points, the gates are open, you know, you have to touch anything, which is, I mean, there's so much thought put into it. I guess there are probably federal guidelines, but also the Tennis Association has some guidelines too for you, don't they?
GRF was following the guidelines, and finally they said, the USTA website said, you can open up your seating. So we got that opened up last weekend, and that on 5 courts we had benches. So, and I do tell them, you know, be sure to sit at the end of the benches, and if you're not there to socialize, try to keep going. You know, some of these people do have to sit down and get a breath, but they're just doing great. They're just following all the rules. You can't just drop in, you have to have a reservation, so there's no people wandering around, and that's just wonderful.
Yeah, really, when I went there, I kind of stood and I observed things. You know, no one questioned me, but I was just, you know, standing on the sidewalk. I wasn't anywhere near anybody. But it looked like a great example of how to do this in an intelligent way. is what it
Yes.
looked like. And that was both courts. That was the tennis courts and also the pickleball and the paddle tennis courts. The same thing. It looked like people are paying attention to what they should be doing so they continue doing it.
Well, that's exactly it. And I emailed all my members. I said, look, we have to follow the rules. If we don't, they might shut the courts down. And that's like, oh no, so everybody, I mean, we're all in our, late 50s, 60s, 70s. We know what to do, and nobody wants to get sick. I don't want to get this COVID.
No.
So I'm trying to play with people that I know are also self-isolating and are not going out to parties and things like that.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's been very, very difficult. And to have that as an example for other sports that in time, even if they're indoor sports, I was talking to some shuffleboard folks, and they were saying, well, we'd like to do that too, we can space the lanes or whatever. Everybody's trying to think of a way that they can do what you're doing, even if it's an indoor activity. And so,
well, I think with the indoor activity, you really have to worry about the air circulating
Yes.
system. That's the problem.
Yes,
But
exactly.
I don't know why they can't. Maybe they could draw lines with tape out in the courtyard of Clubhouse 1 for shuffleboard. Why aren't they trying that?
Well, it just takes maybe someone asking a question and somebody saying, well, let's look into that, let's find a way to do it, because that's the way we find our solutions. Now tell me what, if you're somebody that is saying, wow, I'm not able to do the sports that I'm typically doing, so I'd like to try tennis or pickleball or, paddle tennis, but I don't know how to play. Is there, and you're not giving lessons or anything at this point, I'm assuming.
There are lessons, but it's only one-on-one. So we have two pros. They have to arrange to have a lesson with them. They're not giving well, I think Alan Galera does give pickleball and paddle lessons, but
Okay.
That's such an easy sport to learn. We used to have open houses twice a year at paddle tennis, and we had people come down who have never played a sport, and it's just so easy. It's just, if you can hit a ball and get it over the net, then you're already on your way. So there are private lessons, but there's, like I said, you have to have a reservation, and you have to give the names of the people you're playing with, because they're really strict on no guests showing up.
Yes. Well, that makes
Which is
sense.
understandable.
Absolutely. Now I took a lesson in pickleball. I also took one in tennis with Lynn Monroe. She was wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
But the pickleball, the play was okay. I could figure that out, but the scoring was a little difficult. So I think you need a whole separate class on that.
Oh, the scoring drove me insane when I first learned pickleball. I thought, who thought this up? This is ridiculous. But I guess it's similar to volleyball. But all three sports, there's a backboard down at the paddle courts, and there is a backboard on court 9 at the tennis. So if you reserve that court, you can just go and hit the ball all you want. Now, tennis, they can't do it until after 11 o'clock. So that would be 11 to noon, and then they could do it in the afternoon, anytime from 4 to 8. So if somebody just wants to get some exercise, they have to bring their own tennis balls, of course. But if they have a racket, they can just go and practice.
Well, I was wondering why the hours were structured that way, and I think that's great, because you really are letting others in to the process who, as I say, may be locked out of another sport that they can't play right now. So,
I see non-tennis club members, but residents playing at night. They're down there using the courts, so that's good. And they're also using the pickle. I was there on Monday night, and there were a lot of people that probably aren't pickleball club members, but they're out there playing, which is wonderful.
Well, that's fantastic. I appreciate you coming on and letting us know the details of this, because it's important for people to know why, when they see people out there playing, it's like, well, why are they playing and how are they doing that? Maybe we can apply those same structures and protocols to our sport or our game that we'd like to play. So you're really leading by example, and we appreciate that you put all that work into it. Is there anything that you'd like us to know about, the game itself before we sign off?
Tennis is wonderful. The people over there are fabulous. Nobody's out to, kill you. And if you want to learn the sport, start just with one lesson, and then we can find you people to play with. It's no problem.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, that's so welcoming. I thank you for saying that. Well, Suzanne, I thank you for coming on and representing the tennis club so wonderfully and the sport of tennis so wonderfully in Laguna Woods, and being so, welcoming to everybody that has an interest in it. So thanks so much for joining us today, and I will be over there, and I'll see you over there soon.
That's great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for joining us today as we spent some time speaking with Suzanne Frank, the president of the tennis club and the secretary of the paddle tennis club, and Joan Brown, who is the president of the pickleball club. They were very helpful in letting us know about the structures and protocols that are in place so that you can play those games confidently and safely. So we hope that you continue to watch us on Village Television on Wednesday and Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. and anytime on YouTube, on Village Television YouTube. And we hope that you're taking good care of yourselves and everybody around you, because we are all in this together. Take good care.